Welcome to this month's edition of Focus on Health. I'm your host, Dr. Barbara Brookmeyer, and today we'll be talking about the new immunization requirements for school entry next school year. And our special guest is Lori Schiffauer, a nurse with the Frederick County Health Department. Lori, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, well, let's jump right in. So what are those new requirements for 7th graders and kindergartners?
Okay, so for 7th graders, the school year coming up this fall, so in August of 14, all children that are entering 7th grade will be required to have 1 dose of Tdap vaccine and a dose of meningitis vaccine. For kindergartners, in addition to the other boosters that they'll need for school, they'll need a 2nd dose of varicella or chickenpox.
Okay, can you talk a little bit more about what those vaccines protect against?
So for tetanus, it is a tetanus vaccine that they've added a booster for pertussis or whooping cough, and frequently we see an increase in disease in adolescents, so that's why early adolescence is a good time to vaccinate them with that vaccine. For meningitis, it protects against the bacterial meningitis, and it is, again, something we see more often in adolescents. As kids start to become more active, sharing in food utensils or water bottles and sports, they're more active socially, so there's a risk there. So the benefit is to vaccinate them prior to those activities. And then varicella is the one for chickenpox, which is already given to children at 1 year of age, and this would just be a booster dose before they entered kindergarten.
Okay. Well, what should parents be doing now to prepare for next school year?
Take a look at your child's immunization record. See if those vaccines are in place. If you have a 7th grader, what you're looking for is Tdap. It's a capital TDAP. That is the tetanus with pertussis booster. For meningitis, you're looking for MCV, and that's the meningitis vaccine abbreviation. If those two are in place and you have a 7th grader, you just need to get a copy of that to school. Okay. For the kindergartners, you're looking for varicella, and they're going to have some other ones too that they will get at kindergarten. And these are all recommended vaccines, so kids have been receiving these for years. So if your child is up to date, more than likely they've already had these vaccines. It's just a matter of getting that documentation to school.
Okay, well that makes sense what you were just saying, that because the vaccinations have been recommended by the Centers for Disease Control and the American Academy of Pediatrics for many years, and the American Academy of Family Physicians. So most children probably are already up to date,
right.
But the school may not have those up-to-date records, and that's why we only right now have about 13%
right.
of the students having the documentation showing that they are up to date with their vaccines. But I've heard from the doctor's offices that yes, and we know from our own vaccination clinic that right. The children are actually already up to date. The parents just didn't realize it. So would you mind repeating one more time what the names, what the parents might see on either their immunization record or if they have the immunization form for the school, the 896 form, where they might want to be looking, or what words? Okay,
so for the Tdap for our 7th graders will be, it's Tdap, capital TDAP for tetanus and pertussis. For the meningitis vaccine, it's MCV, most of the time MCV 4. If they have both of those with a date next to them, then that's sufficient. That copy can go to school and they'll know that they've been vaccinated. And for the kindergartners, it's a matter of having the 2 doses of varicella, and that's usually labeled as VAR.
So if the kids don't have if the parents aren't sure,
right.
if they see that they have the vaccination record and it does not have a date in those columns or those vaccinations, what should they do?
They should contact their healthcare provider and talk with them. Occasionally it is that a parent just doesn't have an up-to-date record, so you want to check with the office and see if their children have actually been documented or if they've been documented somewhere else at another physician's office. You want to get all of that together. But contact your healthcare provider and make an appointment. We're suggesting that you make it earlier rather than later. I mean, it is going to be a requirement for fall to have that documentation in, but it can also be done during a physical. It's not something that needs to be taken care of as a separate appointment.
Okay, very good, and that's important as well, I understand, because sometimes insurance might only cover one visit or one visit without a copay, and so parents might want to get both done at the same time to avoid a copay.
Right. Right.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you for providing that important information and timely information. So we hope that there won't be any children excluded from school in September due to lack of documentation of immunizations and also a lack of immunizations. Thank you.
Thank you.
And now please stay tuned for this month's Medical Myth.
Please like Frederick County MD on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at FrederickCOMD to get the latest information on actions by the Board of County Commissioners, emergency notifications, department events, programs and services, and links to online resources. Frederick County government has thousands of followers on Twitter and likes on Facebook. In addition to the county website at www.frederickcountymd.gov and FCG-TV, cable channel 19, social media is one more way we keep our citizens and visitors informed and involved in the actions of Frederick County government.
The Frederick County Department of Housing can help retired homeowners 55 or older with limited income receive assistance with home improvements. 0% interest, 30-year payment-free mortgages pay for such eligible improvements as widening of doorways, exterior ramps, accessible showers, or even additions like first-floor bathrooms and laundry areas in some cases. This is not a reverse equity mortgage, and all closing costs are included in the loan. The Housing Department will assist you with completing the simple application, choosing a contractor, and making sure the improvements are completed safely and efficiently. For more information, contact Susan Brown, Housing Rehab Programs at 301-600-3531 or by email at sbrown@frederickcountymd.gov or visit our website at www.frederickcountymd.gov/housingrehab.
The Frederick Board of County Commissioners announces a new service for county residents and those interested in watching live broadcasts and archived videos of county meetings and special programs. In addition to watching county meetings online from a personal computer, viewers may now tune in from the convenience of an iPhone, iPad, or other mobile device, including some Android smartphones. We're taking government to a higher level of technology in offering this new service, and we look forward to hearing good feedback from our citizens. Simply visit www.frederickcountymd.gov/FCG-TV and click on the link that says Watch FCG-TV Live.
And now here's this month's Medical Myths. This month's Medical Myths is about concussions in youth sports. There are many myths about concussions and pressures on youth athletes to succeed that could prevent athletes from reporting their full symptoms. The first myth is that if there is brain injury or a concussion, then there will be signs or symptoms immediately present and noticeable to coaches and parents. That is false. Symptoms of a concussion may not appear or be noticed until days or weeks after the injury. A second myth is that you only need to be concerned about a concussion or brain injury if a person gets knocked out or loses consciousness. That is also false. Concussions can occur without a loss of consciousness. A third myth is that parents only need to be concerned about the potential for a concussion injury with organized sports. That is false. Concussions can occur during neighborhood games and play, and even from a fall at home. While wearing helmets is important to protect the head, there is not a concussion-proof helmet available to prevent concussions. Perhaps the most dangerous myth is that young athletes will always recognize that they are experiencing symptoms of a concussion and that they will always tell a parent or coach when they are experiencing symptoms. That is false. A young person may not recognize the signs and symptoms as being due to a concussion, and they also may try to hide the fact that they are feeling not quite right. Another myth is that a concussion is no big deal. All concussions are serious. A concussion is considered a type of traumatic brain injury. The final myth for today about concussions in youth sports is that it's okay to return to play even when the athlete is still having symptoms of brain injury, such as nausea, headaches, sensitivity to light or noise, confusion, and difficulty concentrating. There is an increasing amount of research indicating that there is an increased risk for long-term and permanent brain damage when a repeat concussion occurs while the brain is still healing. If you have concerns that your child may have a concussion, please keep your child out of play and seek medical attention. Remember, it's better to miss one game than the whole season. For more information, go to www.cdc.gov/concussion in youth sports. And now here's Angie Blair with this month's health tip.
Hello, this is Angie Blair, health educator with the Frederick County Health Department. This month's health tip is brought to you by the Well and Septic Program of the Environmental Health Services Division. Having a safe drinking water supply and proper disposal of sewage is essential to the department's mission to prevent disease and illness and protect public health. Roughly 40% of the county's population is served by individual drinking water wells and/or private on-site wastewater disposal systems, commonly referred to as septic systems. Private well and septic systems are like any major appliance or amenity. They are designed to be used but not abused and require some basic operating principles and maintenance by the user. For water wells, the following maintenance and operating principles apply. Protect your well from sources of contamination. Inspect the well cap to ensure it is vermin-proof and keeps insects out. Avoid applying herbicides, pesticides near your well or dumping other sources of contamination such as solvents, fuels, and motor oils, antifreeze, paints, and the like. Have your well tested routinely or at least once for bacterial contamination, nitrates, lead, and other contaminants, especially if there is a change in taste, odor, or appearance of well water. Use water efficiently. Install low-flow toilets and shower heads and more efficient dish and laundry washers. Maintain your plumbing system to eliminate leaks. Run full loads for dish or laundry washers, take more showers than baths, turn off the faucet when shaving or brushing teeth. For septic systems, poor maintenance or system abuse can cause premature system failure and major repair expense, sewer backups into the home, or raw sewage overflow onto the ground, which can contaminate your well or your neighbors and/or waterways. Suggested practices to avoid these problems include: don't put inappropriate material into your septic system or use the toilet as a trash can to dispose of non-biodegradable materials or materials that can cause system blockages such as disposable diapers, wipes, sanitary products, kitty litter, fats, oils, and grease. Materials that can contaminate your water well include solvents, paints, pesticides, herbicides, pharmaceuticals, or other hazardous wastes. Have your septic tank pumped routinely, approximately every 3 years, and properly to avoid sewage solids from clogging the soil disposal system. Proper pumping is through the septic tank manhole access cover rather than through the smaller observation port. Protect your soil disposal system that may consist of deep or shallow trenches, seepage pits, leaching beds, or sand mounds by not planting trees or shrubs, not installing permanent structures such as swimming pools or sheds, not driving or parking vehicles in this area, and not allowing runoff or stormwater discharge to the disposal area. For additional information or assistance, call Environmental Health Services at 301-600-1715 or visit their website. Thank you for tuning in to this month's Health Tip.
And thank you for joining us for this month's edition of Focus on Health. Please join us next month.